What's up, everybody? This is Petey from SupplementReviews.com. Today we're going to be talking about a review for a company called CNP Professional. The product in question is ProPeptide. It says it's an advanced protein supplement, and heck, it's even in French. I know, awesomeness down below, so this will be an interesting review, that's for sure. Alright, diving on in. This stuff was sent to us from our good friend James over at CNP, and on the front of the container it says it's loaded with prebiotic organisms to promote more efficient protein digestive activity. Contains LTP, micellar casein combined with high fraction whey and egg peptides. Oh, I'm a fan of blended proteins, especially egg. Specifically engineered for maximum anabolic and anticatabolic activity, and it says it's rich in bioactive protein fractions and peptide sequences. In this monster container, I think this thing's I believe 2-pounder, it has 14 servings, and it has a massive scoop. We'll cover that in a second. Going down the side of it, we're not going to go all the way through this. It's paragraph after paragraph of breaking down the product here, but you know, it tells you congratulations. You know, apparently you made a great choice. Going on about it's concentrated protein, composite specifically engineered to provide all the amino acids, protein fraction, peptides your body needs to grow lean, healthy, and muscular. Don't we all want that? Alright, so there's some superior, I guess, properties that they claim here, including patent-pending probiotic organisms. It's got an optimal protein balance with sustained release as well as fast ones. Only using low-temperature processed casein. I like that, and no caseinate. Also in there it says it's been screened and ensured the highest quality of fractions, including, I guess, some of the stuff that gets taken out due to over-processing, so that's good. That's going to be left in there. 4 grams of added glutamine in peptide form. Awesome. Good recovery there. And it's got protein balance. It's tailored to the human body for maximum performance and 98% lactose-free. Boom. Alright, so let's talk about taste and mixability here. Alright, first off, I had the wild strawberry, as down below, is it fraise? Awesome. My French sucks, so bear with me. Anyway, I thought it tasted pretty good. It mixed all right. Like I mixed all my stuff with almond milk, so it did get a little bit chunky just because of the massive amount of powder that is in one serving here. We'll cover that in a second. Other than that, it mixed well. It had a good taste. I love strawberry protein, but I can't say this really tasted like strawberry. I mean, it had that slightly. But the main thing, I couldn't put my finger on what it quite tasted like. It's very odd. I'm still not sure exactly where I've had the flavor before. It's comparable to something. I did enjoy the flavor though. It had that slight hint of strawberry in there. But I can definitely tell what they used for a fat source, and I'm sensing sunflower seed oil because it tastes like sunflower seeds. And I quite like those, so I thought it was an interesting combination along with the strawberry. It was a very rich flavor, especially in almond milk, and I dug it. So I like the taste, the mixability, with the little chunks in there. You have to take it down a little bit there. So it's going to get an 8.5 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible either, and it's definitely interesting in terms of flavor. Alright, moving on to the nutrition facts. This is where, I guess, you know, products are made and judged. So let's take a look at this. Pretty important here. This was my biggest complaint about this product. It wasn't the ingredient profile itself, but it was the freaking label on here. Anytime you're having, I guess, products crossover in terms of multiple countries that they're being sold in, there can be some confusion on exactly what's being listed here. It has a different split per 65 grams and per 100 grams, yet the scoop that came in here was not a 65-gram scoop, so it was kind of all over the place. So, I got that straightened out with James over at CNP, so there's no confusion there. But for just breaking down the simplicity of this right here, we're going to talk about per 65 gram serving. So in a 65 gram, approximately, which is 2 scoops, it's going to have 230 calories, and 25 of those are from fat, which doesn't really add up, and we'll get to that in a second. So, I know, you find out more and more the more you look at stuff, but regardless. Alright, starting with that for the fat, for the lipids in here, this is going to be from the medium-chain triglyceride source. It uses isolates and casein in it, so the fat isn't going to be from the protein itself, but from the added fat source. It says there's 25 calories from fat in here, yet this list there's 3 grams of fat. Last time I checked, 3 times 9, you know, doesn't equal, you know, 25, it equals 27. So I guess they rounded down a little bit, but that's okay. 1 gram of that is saturated, which is medium-chain triglyceride, so that makes sense, okay? And there's no trans fat. That's always good to see. Cholesterol, it's slightly higher in this one. It's got 45 milligrams per serving, but that's all right. It's only 15% of your daily value, depending on your caloric needs. Sodium's a little bit high as well, which is okay in my case, because it's good for muscle function here. 14% and 350 milligrams per serving. Potassium is also fairly high. Once again, recovery muscle function in there as well. 350 milligrams at 10% of your daily value. The carbs, everybody likes carbs. Got 6 grams as a byproduct of just what's in it itself. 3 of that is sugar, and 3 of that is fiber. I like how they disclose how much exactly of each. There's no maltodextrin in here, so none of that's coming from that crappy carb source. Protein, most importantly, you're rocking 45 grams of a blended protein source. Awesomeness. They got some sprinkling in here. Again, of course, got some calcium, some phosphorus, just tiny, tiny, tiny 1 milligram of iron and 4 milligrams of magnesium as well. Alright, so the nutrition facts are solid, nothing that stands out, nothing that makes me scratch my head and wonder what you're doing here, so that's good. Ingredients, here's the important part. We have all the stuff on the front of the container. Let's take a look at what they made up their blend with. First, starting out with this, which I'd hope is what it is, so that's good, is the ProPeptide Proprietary Advanced Protein Blend. I know, fancy words. That includes milk protein, cultured with, I guess, the organisms Bifidus, Acidophilus, and yogurt organisms. Whey protein from the high fraction concentrate and isolate. Good. I like there's not necessarily a ton of concentrate in there. I am a fan of concentrate, but it has to be in the right balance. This one seems pretty balanced here. Peptide bonded glutamine for that there recovery mix. Egg whites, and hydrolyzed protein around the blend for that fast digesting protein. I like it. Natural and artificial flavors, got to have the straw flavoring in there, and then proprietary metabolic fat blend. In this case, medium chain triglycerides. Alright, I got a few other things in here. Cellulose gum, just an anti-caking agent for texture. Red beet root powder, just for that tiny bit of color, natural, instead of having a dye. That's awesome. A little bit of sodium, chloride, potassium chloride, and a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of sucrose. So sodium and potassium, awesome stuff. So looking at the ingredient profile, I'm happy with what's in it. There isn't anything that I'd like to see in it that wasn't supposed to be in there, or there isn't anything in there that I would want taken out. I like the blend. It's very unique. It's going to be a higher end protein product anytime you start adding egg whites into it, along with all the fraction proteins. And I do like the idea of having, I guess, the digestive enzymes in there as well for better utilization. One thing that I would like to know, I couldn't find it anywhere on the container, exactly how many, what the numbers were in terms of the digestive enzymes. I mean, you can say have them in a product, but unless they're in certain amounts, you know, it's not going to have a huge effect. Like I know the Gaspari, when they had their probiotic series, that was way, I guess, under distributed in terms of how much they had in the product. With this one, you know, I'm having some good faith, but then again, that's something you'll never know unless, you know, they choose to release that, so that's not a big deal. Regardless, overall, in terms of this protein, for the nutrition facts and what's in the actual product itself, I was happy with it, and it's going to get an 8.5 out of 10 as well. But one thing it is you know, a couple just small discrepancies on nutrition facts. You know, there's rounding that happens in all of them. The confusing how it splits into 2 different categories, and having the different scoop, which I had to email about just because it was a massive scoop for a 65-gram scoop. And also, I guess, you know, just a few discrepancies in there in terms of what's in it. Overall, I liked it. Once again, 8.5 out of 10. Effectiveness, you know, you need a longer time frame than 14 servings in order to fully, I guess, gauge the effectiveness of a protein in terms of having promises for lean, mass, muscular physique, because, you know, 14 servings isn't all that much. However, during the usage of it, recovery was good, just like always on par. I didn't have any digestive issues with it, didn't get bloated, didn't have any, I guess, signs of a low-quality protein. So kudos to them. I like how it worked for me during this short span that I got to use it, so that was good as well. Effectiveness, this gets an 8.8 out of 10. It was good stuff, and, you know, there's nothing that had me really complaining about it, aside from the lack of a strawberry flavor, and there's a little bit of clumping when I mixed it. So effectiveness-wise, I mean, just on par, you're going to recover. Value for this stuff, this is pretty tricky because I've seen it listed at a few different prices. Overall, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It has a very high-end, I guess, ingredient profile, which I do like. I like how they have some unique concepts in it, including the digestive enzymes, as well as a medium-chain triglyceride blend. I mean, that's kind of getting pretty common these days. However, the thing is it's a tougher to find product. It isn't exactly everywhere, so you might have a little trouble hunting it down, and when you do find it, you might pay a slightly higher premium price. However, what you do pay for is uniqueness and quality. Anytime you have whey hydroxylate, egg whites, and other, I guess, non-caseins in there, you know, you're going to have, you know, you're going to have a higher price point in there. But once again, it isn't an outrageous value just because it's harder to find. So I'm going to have to give it an 8 out of 10 again in here. That's still very solid. Overall, I enjoyed this product. It had a good flavor, not so overpowering with the strawberry, not too sweet. Definitely has a slightly salty and that sunflower taste to it. It mixed all right. It had good recovery with it. I didn't have any problems with it. So overall, I'm going to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10 as well. It was a very pleasing product. I liked it overall. I'd like to thank James once again for sending this over to us. There will be other expert reviews coming on us as well. And if you happen to see this somewhere, it's worth checking out. It is going to steer you clear maybe a little bit because there's only 14 servings in this container. And, you mix this stuff with like 16 ounces of fluid because there is a lot of powder to it, but anytime you have that much stuff packed into a protein recovery product, it's going to take a little more liquid. It is delicious, but, there's pros and cons to every product. All right, so once again, 8.5 out of 10 overall for CNP Professional ProPeptide Protein. All right, that's all I got for you today, everybody. Stay tuned for more reviews. Check out our Facebook, check out our Twitter, all that good stuff on social media, and make sure to follow us on Instagram so you can stay up on the happenings of myself as well as SupplementReviews.com. If you haven't already, check out the Olympia Expo series. I have a bunch of cool interviews. Ronnie Coleman, Mark Lobliner, a bunch of our friends over at different supplement companies such as Isotori and Advanced Muscle Science. And there's a lot of good stuff on there. A bunch of videos. I think we had 13 or 14 videos in total there. So check them out and check out the interviews. All right, guys. You have a good one. This has been Petey from SupplementReviews.com.